Welcome, dear friends. As you know that we are preparing the series on election to be conducted on 25th मई। तो इलेक्शन से संबंधित बहुत सारी जानकारियाँ हम लोगों ने शेयर किया है। अब ये हैंडबुक मिली है इलेक्शन कमीशन की तरफ से, तो उसको थोड़ा सा हम लोग सिलसिलेवार ढंग से पढ़ें। स्वांतः सुख है, स्वयं के लिए मैं पढ़ता हूँ, लेकिन इसी बहाने एक वीडियो बन जाता है। दैट इज़ no other purpose for making this video, only spreading the knowledge, learning and spreading, no other purpose। चलिए तो हम देखते हैं, ये चैप्टर 1 है हमारा। The objectives of this handbook is to provide information and guidance to perform your duties as a presiding officer in the best manner possible. However, this handbook is neither an exhaustive compendium in all aspects, nor a substitute reference for the various provisions of elections law related to the conduct of poll. You should therefore, wherever necessary, refer to those legal provisions which are reproduced in Annexure 1 and Annexure 2. इसको हम आगे देखेंगे। You have been appointed as presiding officer under the provisions of Section 26 of the Representation of the People Act 1951. Further, under the provisions of Section 28A, you along with the other officers designated for the conduct of any election shall be deemed to be on deputation to the Election Commission. Okay, 28 के अनुसार rule Section 28A के अनुसार for the period commencing on and from the date of notification calling for such elections and ending with the date of declaration of the result of such elections। तो ये तब तक हम क्या हैं, डिप्यूटेशन पर हैं 28A के अनुसार, टिल जब से ये प्रोसेस शुरू हुआ है, नोटिफिकेशन इशू हुआ है, तब तक आप क्या हैं, डिप्यूटेशन पर हैं। वी आर नॉट द एम्प्लॉयज़ ऑफ organization in which we are working. Accordingly, you shall during that period be subject to the control, superintendence and direction of the Election Commission. As a presiding officer, you are the most important officers at a polling station. Most important officer at the polling station. You enjoy full legal power to control the proceedings in the polling stations under your charge. At the same time, you are fully responsible for all the activities taking place at the polling station. It is your primary duty and responsibility to ensure free and fair. It is your primary duty and responsibility to ensure free and fair poll at your polling station. It is therefore necessary that you are fully conversant with the law and procedures and the relevant instructions and directions of the Commission in relation to the conduct of elections. Presiding officer PRO must perform all responsible duties in polling station attached to him in cordial relation with the other polling officers and polling agent in that polling station. You should go through the guidelines strictly without any deviations and act as a ECI instructions. You should attend all training classes, keep contact with the sector officers, zone officers, ROs by having their contact numbers. Electronic voting machines, EVMs, and voter verifiable paper audit trail are now used at each polling station. You, as the presiding officer at a polling station, should acquaint yourself fully with the latest position on the rules and procedures prescribed for the conduct of poll by electronic voting machines and VVPAT. You should also thoroughly familiarize yourself with each of the steps to be taken in the conduct of the poll and the polling station and with the operation of EVM with VVPAT. You should understand the process of recording the vote using VVPAT. Hands-on training must be done on use of EVMs with the VVPATs. A slight mistakes or lapse or wrong application of the law or rules of inadequate knowledge of various functions of EVM VVPAT may vitiate the poll at your polling station. Legal provisions. The provisions of the law which have a bearing on your duties as a presiding officer is reproduced in Annexure 1 and Annexure 2. Polling party. Typically, polling team will consist of presiding officer and 3 polling officers while appointing the polling party your district election officer DEO. Returning officer RO will also authorize one of the polling officers to perform the duties of presiding officer in case you are not able to be on duty at the polling station due to some unavoidable reasons. For the conduct of the poll simultaneous elections, the team will consist of presiding officer and 5 polling officers. For the conduct of poll in simultaneous elections, the team will consist of presiding officer and 5 polling officers. Polling related training. Polling related trainings. The district election officer DO, returning officer RO will arrange training classes for you and the polling officers. You and the polling officers should clear the doubts about the duties and the responsibilities of the presiding officers and polling officers. One should not take training classes rehearsal lightly, even if you have worked as a presiding officer or polling officers in some earlier elections. Where EVM with the VVPAT was used, you must attend all the training classes rehearsals as during the training classes rehearsals you may come to know about VVPAT and some new facts, instructions, provisions of law. The elections law and procedures are amended from time to time, and it is necessary that you keep yourselves abreast about the latest provisions of law, rules, instructions, etc. Further, it is necessary to refresh your memory even if there is no change in the law and procedures. By the end of the training classes, you should go through way and go through you should go through the in the operation of the EVM with the VPAT and VPAT fixing of green paper seal special tags, all selling procedures, and about the various statutory and non-statutory forms used as polling station used at polling stations. Note: presiding officer must attend test of at the end of the training module. Must attend the test at the end of the training module. ये तो अभी तक हम लोग का हुआ नहीं. He or she should get acquainted with different types of election materials, including statutory, non-statutory forms, stationaries, covers, packets, etc. He or she should fill up mock poll certificate. Okay, ठीक है. Application for postal ballot paper. You and your polling officer may be electors in the same constituency in which you are posted on duty or in some other constituencies. The district election officers, returning officers will issue the order appointing you as a presiding officer in duplicate, and along with this order, the district election officer DO or returning officer will give you sufficient number of Form 12 and 12A to enable you and polling officers to apply for postal ballot paper and election duty. and election duty certificates. If any one of you is an elector in the same constituency in which you are appointed for election duty, you can apply for an election duty certificate EDC EDC in Form 12A to the returning officer in the case of parliamentary elections. For an official who is an elector from constituencies other than the one where one is posted on election duty, he will have to apply for postal ballot paper in Form 12. For an official who is an elector from a constituency other than one where one is posted on election duty, he will have to apply for a postal ballot paper in Form 12. Who is an elector from a constituency other than the one where one is posted on election duty, he will have to apply for a postal ballot paper in Form 12. और 12A किसके लिए है? 12A कहाँ गया? यहाँ से पढ़ना पड़ेगा ना. 12 is enable you and polling officers to apply for a postal ballot paper, and Form 12 and 12A to enable you and your polling officers to apply for postal ballot papers and election duty certificate. If any one of you is an elector in the same constituency in which you are appointed for election duty, you can apply for an election duty certificate in Form 12A to the returning officer. If any one of you elector in the same constituency in which you are appointed for election duty, you can apply for an election duty certificate in Form 12A to returning officer. For an official who is an elector from a constituency other than one where one is posted on election duty, he will have to apply for a postal ballot paper in Form 12. Arrangement in this regard will be made in the training session. It may be noted that once a postal ballot is issued to you, you can vote only through postal ballot, even if you are not actually deployed for election duty for any reason. During training classes, a copy of each of the electoral rolls for the assembly constituencies in the district will be made available by the district election officer for inspection at the center, so that you can note down your particular regarding electoral roll numbers, which you will have to furnish in your application for postal ballot paper. You can also get your voter details from National Voter Service Portal (NVSP) or through Voter Helping app (VHA). National Voter Service Portal (NVSP), वोटर हेल्पलाइन ऐप VHA. ठीक है. पोलिंग मटेरियल. On the previous day of poll or on the day of departure for the polling station, you will be supplied with all the election material, a list of which is set out in Lecture 3. Before leaving for your polling station, make sure that you have received all the items. Before leaving for your polling station, make sure that you have received. Checking of the EVM and VVPAT. Check that the control unit CU and the ballot unit BU and VVPAT are the ones which are meant for use at your polling station. This will be verified with the reference to the address tags attached to the state unit. This will be verified. ये कैसे verified होगा? With the this will be verified with the reference to the address tags attached to state units as the number and the name of the polling station. Number and name of the polling station shall be indicated by the returning officer on each of those address tags. Check that candidates set section candidates candidate sets section of the control unit is duly sealed and the address tag is firmly attached thereto. Also check that the pink paper seal on the control unit is intact. Check that battery installed in the control unit is fully operational. This may be checked by setting the power switch provided in the rear compartment to on position. After checking, the power switch must be set to off position. Checking, the polling party is instructed not to test VVPAT. Check that polling party is instructed not to test VVPAT at a time of dispersal and before mock poll and polling station and polling before mock poll at polling station under any circumstances, as VVPAT issued to them are already checked and tested. Check that you have been supplied with the requisite number of ballot units. And the ballot papers are duly fixed under the ballot papers screen in each of them. The number of ballot units to be supplied to you will depend upon the number of contesting candidates in your constituency. The number of ballot units to be supplied to you will depend upon the number of contesting candidates in your constituency. Check the thumb wheel switch setting in M3 EVM ballot unit. The thumb wheel switch window is on the top right side of the ballot unit. Thumbnail switch window is on the top right side of the ballot unit. Note that in the M3 EVM, 24 ballot units can be connected to control unit. Or if the number of contesting candidates is between 3 and 16, including nota, only one ballot unit will be supplied and a thumb wheel switch can be seen through the window at the top right of the ballot unit set by the returning officer at position 01. If the number of contesting candidates is between 16 and 32 including nota, you will be supplied with the two ballot units on the first ballot unit. टू बallot units, ठीक है, और ये 3 to 16 होगा. There will be one ballot. Only one ballot unit will be supplied and some wheel which can be seen through the window at the top right of the ballot units. ठीक है. Between 16 to 32 including nota, you will be supplied with two ballot units on the first ballot unit and thumb wheel will be set to position 01 on the first ballot unit and thumb will be set to position 01 and the ballot paper will contain the names of the candidates from serial number 1 to 16 in the list contesting candidates. The second ballot unit will be displayed the second sheet of the ballot paper containing the names of the contesting candidates from 17 onwards and up to 32 including nota, and the thumb wheels in that unit will be set to position 02. Likewise, if their ballot units are supplied Likewise, if the three ballot units are supplied, then number of contesting candidates is between 33 to 42, 48, including nota. The third ballot unit, the ballot paper will contain the names of candidates from serial number 32 onwards up to 48, including nota, and its thumb wheels will be set to the position 03. There will be 4 ballot units if the number of candidates exceeds 47 and to 46, 64, including nota. The fourth ballot unit will be displayed on the ballot paper. Fixed there is names of the candidates from serial number 49 onwards up to 64, including nota, and it's a thumbnails. It's a thumb wheels will show the position 04. If there are 5 ballot units, the fifth ballot units will display on the ballot paper. Fixed therein the names of candidates from serial number 65 onwards up to 80, including nota, and its thumb wheels will show the position 05. In this way, when using 24 BUs ballot units, the 24th ballot units will display on the ballot paper. Fixed therein the names of candidates from serial number 369 onwards up to 384, including nota, and its thumb wheels will show the position 24. If you find any discrepancy in the fixing of the thumb wheel switch, immediately bring it to notice of sector magistrate returning officer. But in any case, you or your polling officer should not fiddle with the thumb wheel switch. It must also be ensured that the ballot papers as fixed on the ballot units are properly aligned, and that the name and symbols of each candidate is in line with his corresponding lamp and button. The thick lines dividing the panels of the candidates on the ballot paper are the lines with the corresponding groups on the ballot unit. Check that the candidates' blue buttons, which have been unmasked and are visible on the ballot units, are equal to the number of contesting candidates, and that the remaining buttons, if any, have been masked. Check that the candidates' blue buttons, which have been unmasked, are visible on the ballot units and equal to the number of contesting candidates, and that the remaining buttons, if any, have been masked. Check that each of the ballot units is duly sealed and secured at two places, that is at right top and right bottom portion, with the seals of the returning officer, and that the address tags are firmly attached here. Check that each of the ballot units is duly sealed and secured at two places, that is at right top and right bottom portions, with the seal of the returning officer, and that the address tags are firmly attached thereto. Checking of the polling materials. Check the two big files of the 10 cc of indelible ink with the brush have been provided in the kit, and there is sufficient quantity of ink in each of the two files supplied to you. Since ink has to be put on the left hand index fingers, left hand finger, as a line from the top to the nail, to the bottom of the first joint of the fingers. Line from the top of the nail, top of the nail, इधर से इधर से नहीं जाएंगे, इधर से नहीं जाना है, इधर से टॉप ऑफ द नेल, टॉप ऑफ द नेल टू द बॉटम ऑफ फर्स्ट फिंगर ऑफ द, तो ये यहाँ से लेके यहाँ से यहाँ तक आना है, इसका डायरेक्शन इधर से होगा. Ensure that the stamp pads to be used for getting the thumb impression of the voter who cannot put his or her signature are not dry. Okay. Check that all the three copies in the case of simultaneous poll, 5 copies of the relevant part of the electoral roll are complete and identical in every respect, and in particular that the relevant part given to you pertains to the area for which the polling station has been set up and that is complete in all respects. All the, check that all the three copies in case of simultaneous poll, 5 copies of the relevant part of the electoral roll are complete and identical in every respect, and in particular that the relevant part given to you pertains to the area for which the polling station has been set up and that it is complete in all respect. All the pages in each working copy of the roll have been serially numbered from number 1 onwards. All the pages in each working copy of the roll have been serially numbered from number 1 onwards. All the pages in each working copy of the roll. अच्छा ठीक है. The printed serial number of the voters are not corrected with the ink or otherwise, and no new number are substituted for them. The marked copy of the electoral roll to be used for marking the names of electors who are all allowed to vote does not contain any remarks other than those used for issuing postal ballot papers such as PB, EDC, the elections, the deletions appearing in the supplements, if any, to the roll would be reflected in the reprinted mother roll with the word deleted diagonally in case of deletion made during revision period or deleted in cross. In case of deletion made during the continuous period after final publication, as the case may be, superimposed on the concerned electoral detail box to indicate that the entry has been deleted. The electoral roll is duly signed by one of the AERO and one more officials. A certificate signed in ink by the ARO is attached on the top of one copy of the roll to be used as marked copy in Annexure 4. Check that along with the marked copy of the electoral roll, the list of absentees, shifted and dead ASD voters, if any, has been given to you to facilitate identification of voters at the polling station. Check that the tendered ballot papers supplied to you are for the same constituency in which the polling station assigned to you is situated, and that they are not defective in any respect. You should also check that their serial number tally with the details supplied to you. If you find any voting machine or any polling material defective in any respect, you must immediately bring such defects to the notice of the officers in charge of the distribution of voting machine polling materials or the returning officers for necessary remedial action. Okay. Also check that photocopies of the specimen signature of the contesting candidates and their election agents are also given to you. This will help you in verifying the genuineness of the signatures of the candidates, their election agents, in the appointment letter of polling agents at the polling station. This will help you in verifying genuineness of the signature of the candidates. In addition to the above mentioned documents, check for two copies of troubleshooting instructions on handling of CUBU VPAT failure errors and 20 during poll preparation of polling officers for the fault handling and polling materials provided for you. Your booth should be as per list of polling materials given in Annex 3. ये हमारा पार्ट है इंट्रोडक्शन के बाद हम लोग पढ़े थे, तो हमने यहाँ तक ख़त्म कर लिया है। अब अगला हमारा हम वीडियो बनाएंगे अलग से फोटो इलेक्टोरल रोल्स के ऊपर। थैंक यू।